Well, we got into the Akhal Tekes because I was doing endurance on a quarter horse, and I was looking for a 100-mile horse. So I started doing research, and what really drew me to the breed was that bond that they say, that the Tekes can have that kind of dog-like personality and really be one-person horses and really bond with their owner. And I found that to be true with Hala. So Hala was my first Teke, and we've done a lot of different adventures together. Ridden across Florida on the Florida Cracker Ride, so straight down the highways, right into Fort Pierce, through downtown, and just a lot of different things. But what I found from her is that we really understand each other. We've really developed a bond that I don't think I've ever had with any other breed or any other horse.
So part-breds. For me, the part-breds were a little bit important because it got me interested in the breed. If I had never have had a part-bred, I probably would never have been involved in the Akhal Tekes. My guy that I have now, he is an Arab Akhal Teke cross. We do extreme cowboy racing, obstacles. We've played in the reining pen a little bit, so it's a little bit of a different avenue than your sport horses. In the jumping field and dressage. He's super athletic, he's brave, he is kind, and so I was like, maybe it's time I look into doing some purebreds. And that's when I started doing my search for purebreds. And I met Bestie Waddler, and we did an in utero foal. And then I got a really good opportunity with Katrina. Sent me a message about a stallion, and next thing I know, I have a stallion, and next thing I know, I have 3 more Tekes, 2 mares and a stud colt. They are some of the kindest, most sensitive animals I have ever met. I've never had a horse look into my soul before, and it is one of the coolest, most eerie things I've ever experienced. But they really do choose you. They really, they speak to you in a way that I've never been spoken to before. And it's quite unique and it's quite special.
I think the most amazing thing I've learned about the Akhal Teke is just the versatility. Growing up, I heard they were great at endurance riding, racing over in Europe mostly, or Central Asia, but I never really knew they could excel in other disciplines like dressage, eventing, show jumping. So yeah, learning a little bit that myself by doing a little low-level dressage right now, and so I think just the versatility. Outside of the beautiful coloring, I think the thing that surprised me about the Akhal Teke is the versatility, the loyalty, the unbreakable bond you can create with this horse. Another thing, it's been interesting in doing some expos and stuff like that, is looking up the history of the horse. It has a really interesting history, and definitely encourage you to go take a look at this horse further.
I've been in Tekes for 40 years now. First time I saw one was in the breed book with the stallion Cambar, which put many of us on this journey. The beautiful golden shiny horse that looked like nothing else. It should be in fairy tales. And I never thought I'd see one until I happened to be moving from Michigan to Washington State, and I saw an ad in Equus for an Akhal Teke stallion in Colorado and said, well, it's on the way. So I stopped in, and I completely lost my heart. So later that year, I did what every smart horse person does and said, called the guy up and said, please pick me out a nice one. So he did. He picked me out my first mare that got me into the breed, and she was the absolute perfect horse for me. And so I had her about 4 years, and then I bought my second one. Again, wonderful, wonderful horse. The 90s, I decided to take the big leap of starting to breed. I picked up a colt, a mare, and a young stallion. They really started me on my journey, and over the years, I have bred probably 40, 50 foals at my farm. My first stallion, Ostrakhan, was the top stallion in the United States for quite a few years. He went on, he did expos, he did dressage, he did endurance. He was the absolute perfect first horse. First, I guess, introduction to the best the breed had to offer. I have seen the techies go from people saying a what to people going, oh my gosh, I know what those are, and they are so fantastic. And I love it because it definitely has not only been me, but everybody that's been on this journey has put their heart and soul into these horses. I have been around a lot. There are so many gorgeous horses out there. So many wonderful, wonderful horses, but for me, techies are the absolute ultimate. They're sensitive, yet extremely sensible. I could keep going on for hours about the partnership that I've had with my various horses. The horses that I've competed over the years, we always had a good time, and they always did their best for me. And, you know, I'm still doing this 40 years later. I'm not breeding so much anymore because you get a little bit older, it's a little bit more work. But I'm still such a proponent of the Akhal Teke because there's no other horse like it.